Hey, I'm Joe Barnett with the customer service team here at Park Industries. Today, we're going to dial our C-axis and A-axis. To start, what you want to do is make a dot on your blade. That way you're going to the same spot every time. You want to try and keep your weight off of the table because that can influence how your numbers come out. So what we're going to do here to start with, I'm going to come closer to our dial indicator with Y. I'm using the F2 function on the handheld unit. Now I'm going to go down to the F1 for the 1 thou movements. Get my dial zeroed out. I'm at 0 on the big gauge. You also want to keep an eye on the little gauge in there. Every revolution of the big gauge is 1 digit on that small gauge. So now that I'm at 0, I'm going to move X positive till I'm across the blade, and then I'll spin the blade and line up the dot. I'm about 20 thousandths off. I'm going to turn the pendant to my C-axis, and I'm positive 20, so I need to go negative. And I'll go about halfways. Come back to my X direction and go negative. Line up my dot again. Re-zero out my dial. I don't like to touch my Y-axis at all at this point because sometimes you forget which axis you moved. So I'm at 0. Little dial is the same. I'll go across the blade in the X positive direction again. Spin that blade. Right on that dot. Go 3 thou negative. Split that difference. Zero out the dial again. And we're at 0. So now we would want to capture that on the screen. All right, now that our C-axis is dialed, we're back at the HMI screen. What we want to do is capture our C-axis. Now note that our absolute position is reading 0. It's because our machine was dialed in. Yours is going to look a little bit different. Another thing to note is you need to be in the user level maintenance to be able to capture this. So we're already in maintenance. We're going to hit capture. You want to click yes. Make sure your arbor key is enabled. We'll click that again. Click yes. And now what we need to do is close the program and cycle power. And this may take a moment. All right, we cycled power after referencing our C. First thing we had to do was get system on, and then we had to log back into maintenance. Now what you want to do is make sure your position and safety position match your absolute position over here. If they do, you're going to hit the check mark. All right, now that we got our C axis dialed and captured, we're going to do our A axis. For this, you want to make sure that the spray bar for the water fork is up and out of the way, otherwise it will hit the table. Again, we're going to use the same dot that we used on the blade with our C axis. I'm using my F2 function key to get me close to the dial indicator and touching it. Zero out the dial. Switch to the Z axis, F2. We're going to go up. Spin the blade. We're about a thou off. Okay. Bring the Z back down. Make sure when you're coming down with your Z, you do not hit the table. Zero at our dial indicator again. F2, we'll go Z positive. And we are at 0. So now we'll capture our reference point. All right, with our A-axis blade dialing done, we're back at the HMI screen. What we want to do is capture our A-axis. Again, note that our A-axis is reading 0 because our machine was dialed in to start with. Again, you need to be in the correct user login, which is maintenance. We'll capture our A, click yes, and now we'll cycle power to the machine. All right, we're back after cycling power after referencing our A axis. Again, you need to be signed into the maintenance level. Make sure your position and safety position match your A axis absolute position. If they do, go ahead and check that box. And if you have any questions, go ahead and reach out to our customer service team at Park Industries. Thank you.